Dear friends, dear followers of this channel, welcome to an update from me. I have just returned from Paris, from UNESCO, where we celebrated the first ever World Day for Glaciers. And it was such a unique moment in our history that the importance of glaciers is recognized by world leaders. And let's dive in what we mean by this. So let's look at the role of glaciers. They are Earth's vital water towers. They are essential water resources for billions worldwide. And they also support agriculture, energy generation. They are vital for tourism and many other industries, for people in mountain regions and in downstream regions, and many communities are dependent on them. There are also sources for ecosystem foundations. Many species and fragile ecosystems can be found in glaciers. But what is happening is that we are losing our glaciers with unprecedented rate. In the last 50 years, their scale has been astonishing. Especially we can see it from satellite imagery when glaciers are shrinking at unprecedented scale. And World Meteorological Organization and UNESCO reports, they both highlight that by 2050, we are likely to lose 1/3 of our glaciers that are listed as heritage of the world. During the event in Paris, we also discussed phenomenon which is called glacier peak water. This means that with accelerated melting of the glaciers, there will be more available water resources downstream, which could be used for agriculture, for energy generation, and this could be viewed as a positive sign. But in far future, as glaciers shrink, this water source will be lost forever, which will result in disrupted water supply, in water security issues, energy security issues, and even in forced migration and conflict in the regions that are extremely dependent on glaciers. And it's not just the environmental impact that we are interested, but also what impact it will have on human life. It will lead to agricultural disruption. Billions of people will face uncertain water supplies, and also melting of glaciers threatens coastal communities worldwide. And if we look more closely to these communities, they are the most vulnerable ones in terms of glacier melt. These are the people in the mountain regions that depend directly on melt water for daily use. And these are also the downstream communities that use water in the river supply from glacier melt for their agriculture and other industries. These are the fragile ecosystems that will be affected and are affected already now, and small island states whose existence is already threatened by sea level rise. But amidst this urgency, we see some hope, because already the sheer fact that we are celebrating the first World Day for glaciers is the recognition of the severity of the scale. And this will lead to International Year of Glacier Preservation. Later, we'll start the decade of action for cryospheric sciences, and they're all interrelated. And the fact that we'll have the whole decade to address the issue is also a good sign. and that the world leaders have recognized that we need to act now. But what kind of action is required? Of course, it's the most pertinent is limiting warming to 1.5 centigrade Celsius, because beyond that limit, many glaciers will cease to exist. Even with the drastic cutting of greenhouse emissions, we are facing the loss of many glaciers worldwide. What was discussed during the meeting that we need international cooperation and robust data sharing, and also national adaptation plans that are not just for national states, but that expand on transboundary scale, because many glaciers lie in the regions that are shared between many nation states. So what is the message of this video? We need to act now. We need to raise awareness across all the disciplines, because we can't just work with natural sciences. We need social sciences. We need ethnographers. We need archaeologists. We need indigenous people's knowledge, because glaciers are like capsules of cultural heritage at the same time. So first pillar is we need to raise awareness. We need to act on rapid decarbonization. And we also need to have collective responsibility and joining and working across disciplines and borders, and also on multi-level stakeholder dialogue between policymakers, scientists, civil society, indigenous peoples, and many other organizations, as well as civil society. So I would like to leave here with a message that only within action we can have some hope for glacier preservation for ourselves and for future generations. Thank you, and tune to my channel for further engagement, for further awareness about Arctic issues.